The CDF has just announced that he has deployed our military in South Sudan to protect the capital. And you know, Mr. Speaker, that deployment can only happen with approval of Parliament. So the motion is that you adjourn debate on this matter, Mr. Speaker, and I raise this matter. The good thing, we have the Minister for Defense here. We also have a UPDF representative. And the Minister of Defense, a very good lawyer, was my chair in the Committee on Legal, to tell us how this deployment has been done in total violation of the Constitution. That's the motion, Mr. Speaker, I am seeking to move.
Well, interesting motion, but Honorable, I don't know whether you got this news when you were here or earlier on, because 64.2 requires that you write to the Speaker 2 hours before plenary begins, or if it is extremely urgent and where you have to satisfy the Speaker, then, you know, I have to consider very many issues at stake. I do believe this indeed is a critical matter, but which can be discussed on another day. Okay?
To satisfy you, because this matter is also a security matter. Deployment of a national army cannot be casually done. That's why in the Constitution, it must be done with the full authority of Parliament. And even if it is deployed for 1 hour, Mr. Speaker, if it may please you, you can appoint another time. And then we have, maybe if you allow, the Minister of Defense can give us a 5-minute status report, and then you present, you give us an opportunity to be briefed properly on this matter, because an announcement on all now international media, Uganda is there as having deployed the military to protect the capital of South Sudan. And because now this is an international story, you can't prolong it further than maybe tomorrow. So I beg you, Mr. Speaker, to allow, if the Minister of Defense can brief us, and then we can have it raised formally on a date and time that you have appointed.
Thank you. Now,
but the Minister of State for Defense, Jacob Oboth, denied having information about the matter.
International story. I will allow it because it is I can only allow it because it's critical. But let me first get from Minister of Defense. Do you have anything you want to say on this? Have you deployed nowhere before and rule on?
Right, Honorable Speaker, I was following a motion that was being considered, listening attentively to the debate that had just issued. Whatever Honorable Semuju is saying, you see, as a journalist, he could access information that me as a lawyer may not be able to access. Because me as a lawyer, information has to be very formal. I don't rely on social media. That's the difference between the two professional bodies. But this Parliament, I'm not aware of any formal communication that has been made.
Thank you. So, yes, put a question on this motion. Yes. Now, Jonathan, you want to support him in satisfying me?
With due fairness to the Minister, but also without prejudice to the submission of Honorable Semuju, if it is true, it is a serious matter. And like I mentioned, let the government show us that they're actually working. This would not be something difficult for the Minister to verify if there is a government running. And since it's a very important matter, and you know under Section 39, I believe, deployment outside the country for peacekeeping missions can only happen with the approval of Parliament. That is in the law. It even goes to say that if Parliament were in recess, Parliament would be recalled and constituted for that purpose. So since it's an urgent matter and the government seems to be in control, unless they are saying they are not in control of this particular CDF, that he can actually deploy without the knowledge of government, the minister can verify this information and bring it here, because it has implications in terms of resources.
Just to give a benefit of doubt, like I said before, the deployment, unless could have happened when I'm here. So I will have to verify and inform the House.
Yeah, sure.
I think that would be comforting my good friend from Kira municipality.
Thank you.
Like the Honorable Jonathan said, sometimes we sympathize with you. The other day when Jat was deployed, police said they don't know them. The spokesperson of the military said we don't know Jat. The CDF thanked them for a job well done. Then the spokesperson of the military had to come the following day to own them. So we sympathize with you, but we have a duty to the country. But I will take your guidance, Mr. Speaker. We wait for the lawyer. Lawyers, as he said, they take long to learn things. For us, we learn them as they happen.
And further readers, future readers of the Hansard, they may wonder whether there was a lawyer in the House when Honorable Semuju was making that serious allegation. How we take long to learn. It is well known, and here with due respect, the difference is there. We verify, we need proof, so that we are sure of what we are talking about. But journalists can make anything, and that is Semuju for you.
The deployment of the army must be with full authorization of Parliament of Uganda, because that deployment attracts money, it attracts a charge on the consolidated fund. You don't walk to Parliament after and then you ask for money. The other day they brought us here a bill. We were spending nearly 40 billion every 3 months on our deployment in Congo. So these deployments cost taxpayers money, so they cannot be casually done. If the CDF has deployed the army in South Sudan, it will be in total violation of the Constitution and the UPDF Act. And I think as Parliament, we will need to ask the Minister of Defense to explain the circumstances under which this has happened. Because this will be like a mercenary force that you deploy only when you want. A national army is deployed following a particular procedure. So if we no longer have a national army and we have a militia that can be deployed by a family or a family member, then we should be told as a country